No, I do. You're not buying anymore. That tells me something right there. I'm still acquiring stuff when I should be getting rid of more stuff. So damn, I know how that is. I got a whole house full of garbage to get rid of.
Oh, yeah. But I've been picking up little radios off and on here and there. I picked up. Check this out. I picked up a Royce mobile 40-channel mobile radio. I mean, it looks brand new.
Yeah, and I bet you're asking yourself why. I picked up a little Motorola 40 channel for no stupid reason at all, and it just takes up more room and more room.
Well, I didn't pay for this. This was given to me, though.
Yeah, that's even worse. I've got a couple of those, too. It's even worse when people start giving you stuff. It's like, I've got no room.
Well, I know when I got my Kenwood given to me a long time back, I wasn't complaining.
Oh, see, yeah, I wouldn't complain. And nobody gives me those.
Somebody need in there? Kept seeing somebody key down, but that's it.
Yeah, I saw somebody key up.
Is this the key up frequency?
It's his time. It's Dennis' time.
Sorry, Dennis, the floor is yours.
What we used to say, feel free to use the frequency as normal or something like that. All right, I think, let me look at the meters here before I turn everything on. I think we are going. I'm trying to put the foot switch back together. All right, so you are listening. Someone is listening. Notice how quiet it is? No skip. I guess there's some good thing about going back to regular time here, and I'm waiting for the jingle singers, and where are the jingle? Oh, Chet is informing me. He's pointing over there. Okay, Charlie said, oh, they're on vacation tonight. The jingle singers are on vacation tonight. Are all the everything's up, the audio's up. So how come I wasn't informed the jingle? But we have the. Oh, well, that's pretty good. It says they say JT sent over the jingle singers from old radio night to help us out. Well, that's good. All right, well let's get started here. See if we can
get. On your mind, we'd really like to hear.
Well, what's on my mind is this is the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio is glowing in the dark. We will be doing that coming up shortly. Let me get the video up here. My name is Dennis, Net Control Operator for the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's see. You know what? I want to see. I'll be right back. I've got to reset the audio stream. Hold on one thing. All right, the audio stream is up. We've got to clear the rigs. The Nixies go off. We go to the SWL roll call check-ins, and I just want to make sure that we don't get when we start up getting the double audio thing going on here. I think we'll be okay. If I don't break anything, what else? What else is there? I don't know about going on. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio is glow in the dark. 27085 is the frequency. Channel 11 is the channel. We are here in Central California. We're over also at oldtuberadio.net for audio. You can click a link there to go to the video side. And even better, if you are around your radio and you can hear us, give us a check-in with your tube radio, say hello, whatever. So with that said, we will start the direct net roll call. Is that... I do have my pages. Very good. They say, and more jingles? No? Yes? No. Okay. Well, I'll just start. They can just tell them to jump in whenever they want. They don't know the format, but they will get to it. We are starting. Okay. I'll first just start. They can just tell them to jump in whenever they want. There's that double audio I was talking about. So let me get rid of that. They will get to it. We are starting. Let me see where the double audio is coming from. They can just and there's that double audio. Let's see if the double audio is coming from over here. They will get to it. We are starting. Let me see where the double audio. It could be coming from here. Let's try that. There's a lot of them. Let's see if the double audio is coming from you and you. All right, there it is. The double audio is there. Whew, it's so nice. So nice when it's quiet. Are there any stations that would like to check in early? Over.
24 checking in.
All right, and there's only one of you. That is so nice. All right, Joseph, thanks for checking in. Over.
Yeah, I got a lot of noise. I wasn't too sure if you caught me, Dennis.
Yes, you are checked in 24. Over.
Okay. 195.
And 195. What show are we playing here tonight? It is the 11. Is that right? The redundancy. 11-11-23. Hello, Jim. Beautiful course Gold Star liner. We've got you checked in. Over.
Oh, very much.
All right, 24 and 195. Anybody need to get in and get out? OTR listening. Let me start with 00, who will be checking in later. There's a contest going on this week. Let me see who is on my screen, if I can do it without wrecking stuff here, but I need more space, that's it. Robert, SWL 111 would like a check-in.
Dennis, there was a breaker in there also.
All right, I did not hear the breaker. If they were breaking when I was talking, that's probably why. OTR is listening.
Good evening there, Dennis. You got the Lynchburg 53 checking in early. And happy Veterans Day to all those military people, 73s.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Biller, you're sounding very loud tonight. You've got the radio cranked up and sounding good. And yes, we appreciate our veterans and those who served and are serving our country, keeping things where they should be. Thank you, Bob. Anybody else? 00. I did get. Stan will be in. He'll be in shortly. If I don't, if I keep an eye out for it. SWL number 1, of course. Dr. J. SWL number 2. Let me get back over to the other page. And Mr. OBP is there, keeping everybody happy over at the Old Tube Radio Network video, whatever. I don't know. It's not a blog. It's a video thing. It just sort of happens. So, Kevin, I hope you're having a good day over there. We'll get you checked in. I saw SWL number 3 in the flesh today over at the Fresno Amateur Radio Club swap meet. He convinced me, or he tried to convince me, to buy many, many things on his little swap area, and I was able to not buy anything. Not that I needed anything, but anyway, Rob was there and looking good. I want to go ahead. I'll get to 147 checked in. Neil is in there right now, so lest I forget and have to scroll up and down the page. We'll see what's going on with Kakalaki tonight. Checking in, turning 69 years on Monday. I got you beat by a day, Neil, and you got me beat by a year. How about that? I said, damn, I'm getting old. I said the same thing. Conditions have been good. Having Australia late afternoon. See, Australia is a hard thing for them to do on the East Coast. I know I've explained this before. Here we hear it in the evening, Japan, Australia, Hawaii. What's hard for us is the Europeans, which is easy for them. So good you're hearing the down under stations. Hope you can make some contacts and get some cards or whatever it is that you'd like to do. So thanks for checking in. Over to SWL number 5. And that is Levon. Is Levon on frequency? I was so busy I did not stop into Old Radio Night, because Levon often hangs out there. In fact, let me see, is ORN, are they still up and running? I believe it looks like he is off, but we'll check in. Had a great radio. It was the Tram Titan was on tonight for Old Radio Night, so we'll find out how that worked. I've got one behind me, believe it or not, a Tram Titan, which you can't see, but I'm checking that out, working on some audio with it. It seems like it's going to be a good radio. Plays well. Let's go to SWL 7.
SWL 7 checking in.
SWL7 checking in. Hello, Mr. Ed. You are sounding good. We've got you checked in, and no doubt you will have a radio for our list tonight.
Well, I'll try to.
All right. Very good. Thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. And I've got to get you marked in here. So we've got SWL10. See if Chrissy and associated items of interest up there in Idaho, where it's getting cool, but they're still having some nice weather. 11 and 12, Cornbread and Dapper Dan. Dan and Dapper Dan, 11 and 12 tonight. And there is Chrissy. My internet is slow tonight. Or the Dolphins are, the Dolphins are not jumping as high. No, they are. They're out there tonight, so thanks. Dapper Dan checking in, looking dapper and feeling dapper. And likewise, here at Net Control tonight, we've got the pocket protector, what's left of the seersucker jacket here and all as well. So thanks you all for checking into the Saturday night place to be, the Old Tube Radio Network. How about Mr. Cobra, SWL13? He often checks in over at oldtuberadio.net, which you can do. There's a little spot that allows you to check in. I will keep an eye on that. See if he is out there tonight. I did see 111 and Unit 890. Northwest Illinois, Operator Jim. Well, thank you for the birthday wishes. And hope for many more, yeah. They just keep coming. I don't have to hope for any more. They just seem to do that. Let's go to SWL 14. Sean and Sanger, over.
Hey, Dennis, SWL 14 checking in.
All right, wow, big signal. S7, way above the noise. Sounding good. The frequency is quiet. It was good to see you at the venue this morning. I don't know if you walked away with anything. Was this one of the first times I think I didn't spend anything, or even I didn't even walk away with anything from the free table. I just thought, I've got so many things. So when I came home, I fixed a couple of things. I fixed the foot switch. I fixed the REA meter. I figured, you know what? It's time to start fixing this stuff rather than bringing more home. Anyway, you are sounding good.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. It was nice seeing you out there, and I came home empty-handed as well, but it was nice visiting with you and Ron out there.
Yeah, it was good. Saw some people I haven't seen in a long time. That's always a good thing. You are sounding good. No doubt we will be putting your radios on our list coming up here in a little bit. So thanks for standing by. Thanks for stopping by. Page 1 and all the way over, I think it's over there. I don't know what beam heading Copenhagen, Denmark is, but I do know that unit Alpha 173 is out there tonight. Hans, I will get you checked in by doing some clicking of the mouse here. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 16. Charlie is in. Thank you, Charlie. Over there. And what is that? You guys have a gift for me for the pocket protector. Well, that's right. I don't see the pen. What is it? Hold on. Ah, the ever popular what we call greenie. I thought I had one in here, but it's not there. I'm sure I had a pocket greenie in the pocket protector. Let me see if I can actually get to my page here. Something is not right with the computer on the camera. Yeah, there it is, a little screwdriver. This is the slotted screwdriver where to have it in my hand, and I will put that in the pocket protector. Thanks, it'll look good in there. In fact, it is made, these little screwdrivers are made specifically with that little clip on them to go into your pocket or your pocket protector, should you actually have one. All right. I'm trying not to break stuff. It's too early to start breaking things. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18. I got Mikey checked in from Facebook. SWL 19. Chet is on. He's saying, all right. Yeah, we're looking good. He's on cue cards as always tonight. I see they bought you. They finally bought you another marking pin. It's nice and bold. I can see them from way back here. Over to SWL 20.
Now, number 20 here. Please check in 2954. And I will have some radios of interest tonight. And several of them will be for sale from me. And then number 28, Gary up there in Sacramento has two for sale, a Robin T123 and Robin T123B, both with amplified D104s. You can get a hold of me if you'd like to get further information, like his phone number, about the radios. And then I will be talking on several of the ones that I'm selling tonight. Okay, thank you.
All right. We like those kind of promises. You're sounding good. I didn't see you out there this morning. If you were there, I was there. I was, maybe you were in earlier. Somebody said they saw you around. Did you see speaking of T123Bs, did you see the 240D that was all wrapped up in plastic that was out there this morning? Were you out there?
Yes, I was. I got there a little after 8. Stayed long enough to buy a tube tester and to have one donut.
All right. Well, I didn't see a tube tester, or I didn't see any tube testers because you probably bought it, and I didn't see any donuts. I didn't see anybody eating donuts. So I must have got there way late. All right, Harvey, you're sounding good, and we'll be chatting coming up with all the good stuff.
All righty. And this is one of the radios that's for sale. The one I'm on. Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, sounding very good. Over to SWL 21. I think I got the page to come up. It looks like JT they're not on the air. Wow. Well, let's go to replay, so you can see the Tram Titan tonight.
Oh yeah, man, that's great.
Big S meter. Nice radio, by the way. Good audio. And being outdone by 21. And good audio on the Tram Titans tonight. And yeah, hear that thump? I didn't realize that relay in that radio makes a very loud thump. So if you've got anybody else, late night, you're trying not to wake up, that is not the radio you want. Anyway, Mr. JT, you're looking good.
I knocked that out.
The radio is sounding good, and we will catch up with you next time. Hope the net went good tonight. I don't know if you had any skip. Probably. It was in there for a while, but it seems like it went out. Skip went out early tonight. Let's go to SWL 22. Looking to see if Tyler is up on the list here. We do have the Echolink link is running. I see Tony is up there. Who's on tonight? Middleton, Ohio. I hope my foot switch isn't dying already. Yellow Springs, Ohio, hello to you. The unknown SWL, Middleton, Ohio. Liberty Lake in Washington. Sylvania, Ohio, coming up to you. Germantown, Wisconsin. Van Man out there in Kentucky. Centerville, Virginia. A lot of Fresno stations probably trying to pull me out of the noise. Hans is listening in tomorrow. Or is it yesterday? Now he's listening in tomorrow. Plymouth, Minnesota. And in the front row, as always, Derby, New York, Belfast, Maine, and a host of others here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to SWL 23. All right, there's got to be a good way to this. This is my really old foot switch. I found a way to reconnect the other. It had two T-up jacks on it. I found a way to connect one of them, I think. I'll get a proxy check in for Mitch, 23 Skidoo, who is out there polishing up the satellite dish antenna, no doubt. SWL 24 checked in moments ago on an early check-in. Let's go to SWL 25. And I saw a post that 25 was going to be doing the music thing tonight, so I'll get Jerry checked in, and also 74. And also 74. Let's see, who is coming up next? Here's a guy I thought I was going to see at the function this morning, but I did not. SWL 27. SWL 27. SWL 28. Speaking of the guy up in Sacramento, Gary's got a couple of radios for sale. Tonight we'll be talking more about that, and Harvey has information on that. There is room in the freezer in the green room or the kitchen for a 24-pound turkey. Wow, a 24-pound turkey. Yeah, there's definitely room in the freezer, and there's probably room in the refrigerator, because all there is Ovaltine and milk and some carrots or something. So there's room to thaw it out as well. What's going on tonight? It's grape knee-high. Boy, I haven't seen knee-high in a long time. Back when you used to open the little top and pull them out of the containers at the corner liquor store. And milk duds. Milk duds are good. Be sure to make sure that you will warm them up a little bit, that they're not, coming out of your cold vehicle or anything. 'Cause you can break a tooth. You can pull a tooth out on those things with that caramel candy. That's the way they used to be. They're probably like really tiny, yucky now. I don't know. Are they good? Are the milk duds still good there, Gary? I hope so. Got you checked in. SWL 29, I will get a check-in for Mr. Loner. SWL 30, we've got a check-in for Dwayne, who of course is standing by with the Robin and the Browning and waiting for Skip to happen, for it to happen here in the north-south. It's that kind of weather. It's that kind of time. We should be having that kind of stuff. SWL 31. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33, myself. The honk of the proboscis from Bozo Control and everyone here at the studios this evening. Shortwave listener 34. Hello, Jimmy. If you're out there, I will get you checked in tonight. Who else is joining us? I want to say hello to DJ Lunchmeat, saying good evening. Happy birthday from one radio nerd to another. Thank you. Same day as me. Could take, it's 33? Is that the age or that's the temperature? Either way, that sounds okay. I'm SWL 33. I remember when I was that age, sitting in the air chair occasionally around here. Yes, we did. Thank you for checking in from 8 Land. Heard some great stations coming in from your neck of the woods on 10 meters this afternoon. Mr. Phillips, hello radio. Thanks for joining us on OTR tonight. We will be checking in and talking about and searching for those tube radios coming up after the roll call tonight. Mark is joining us. Dallas UDX 347 out of Tennessee. Hello, radio to you. Early check-in for SWL 68. Well, I missed that, but I didn't miss it now. Mike, I will get you checked in. No problems. Thanks for joining us on the net tonight. Also joining us from, what do they say, from near and far out. Tony will be getting to you. Tube's on the air. Tony's going to join us via the Echo link. I can always check out and See that it's actually working. 83 will be coming up to you. For a hot rack, okay. Something about a cracked window, I don't know. I think everything's, oh yeah, no, that's what's going on here. It's cool enough that it will bring the room down to a temperature that makes it enjoyable to be wearing a shirt and tie in the radio room tonight. Heading off to the roll call, looking for SWL 35. Mr. Bill, we missed you at the swap meet tonight. As always, you would have had probably a great table full of goodies. We'll get you checked in via the proxy, SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37, but Dennis, when you said the one before me, 36, all you got was the 30, and that was it.
Yeah, for some reason my foot switches, I don't have the hang of doing this foot switch. That was 36. And 37. 36 is a digital listener, so probably heard me on that. You are a local listener, and I've got the X and the square over.
Am I crazy now?
Is this the crazy frequency?
All right, Dennis, I'll be back.
I think it might be. SWL 38. Now, all of a sudden, we got some extra special noise. Sam is cranking it up out of Byron. Trying to do a ground wave, backscatter, I don't know. I mean, I do hear Motormouth Mall, and he's over a big hill. He's 90 miles away, but I can hear him sometimes on the bull. SWL 39. SWL 40. Where was Larry? He's usually at these swap meets selling something or buying something. Didn't see Larry out there today. Sam, I see you. Got you in with an X in the square. SWL 41. And I think Road Dog was right there. Yeah, checking in from the Hudson Valley of New York, saying good evening to everyone, and good evening and almost good morning right back to you. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, 27085. Plus or minus the drift of your old tube radio. Let's go to SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43. And it looks like Albert and the gang are actually taking the evening off, right? And staying put in the radio room tonight. I have in the queue the uplink for you guys. We'll check it a little bit later in the evening, see that it's up and running, but I see that the pilot light is on. Don't know if that's going to give us some contacts or not, but stay tuned if you're around. We'll give you a call. SWL 44. All right, 44. It is quite enough for me to hear 360. I'm not even sure he can hear me, but 44, we've got you checked in. Over. All right, and Sam, one of our stations up on the hills above the east side of Fresno there that has a very good radio, which you will hear coming up in a little bit on the transmit side, also has a great set of ears. And he said he can confirm that you are actually giving a call out here to the Old Tube Radio Network. So, yeah, you're making it over the hill. You're making it down the valley to the stations that have what we call antennas with a great average HAAT, height above average terrain, or that their average terrain is higher than most. So, Crawdad, thanks for the 10-5. We'll give Sam an X in the square, and thanks for the good ears up there. We'll be checking in with you a little bit later. I'm going to get a check-in for Paul and Kelly, SWL 45, up there in North Fork. SWL 46. We got shortwave listener 47 on an email check-in. So if you're near a Universal Media NetWeb device there, Mike, or you're listening in, we have you checked in, and I hope you are having fun. SWL 48. SWL 49. I'm going to give 48 a check-in from Facebook. Brian, I want to talk to Brian. He's a good audio guy. I got some tips and tricks I want to ask him about for getting some good audio out of the tram. Let's go to SWL 50. SWL 51. SWL 51 in Sangertown. I'll give a proxy check in for 305. SWL 52.
Good evening, Dennis, and all the SWLs out there. SWL 52 from behind the golden microphone. That's the swap meet this morning because I was up in Sacramento wandering the aisles of HRO.
Oh, I have not been to the Sacramento store. That's the one, it either replaced, I don't know if they moved to Sacramento or they had a store and they just closed the San Jose store, but I think that's where one of my radios actually originated. No, it came from this other one. So anyway, hope you found something. Who was the guy we talked to? I think his name is Jim or James, and I can't remember his call because he just changed it, and he's up that way, so maybe he was working today. Anyway, I hope you found some good stuff.
I actually walked away buying. I didn't buy anything because that's not the reason why we were up there. We just happened to take a stop in there and do some window shopping.
I used to do that at the Sunnyvale store. I would go to LA a lot and stop in, who remembers, Henry Radio on Bundy Avenue and Olympic Drive or wherever they were at. I used to stop there all the time and, buy a QST and look at the $1,000 radios and Young's, and they had a couple of, was it ham radio outlets, some other things down there, but that's good. All right, well, it's always fun. Hopefully they have a nice store and you've got your eye on something. You are sounding good and I've got you checked in.
All righty, thank you, Dennis. We'll catch you later.
It's nice to go online, but it's always nice to kind of go in and actually smell the radio, smell the good stuff. 53 checked in moments ago. We've got a check-in for Larry 54 and calling SWL 55. And calling SWL 56. Oops, sorry about that. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and Nanette. 56, just for kicks.
All right, sounding good, Phil. And I think you were the one that used to call one of the trams. I don't know, it was a 2A or the Titan or the Snapper. And I see why. Man, does that thing have a... I don't know if it's a relay, whatever it is, it goes ka-chunk when it keys up. But it's a loud snap. So I got a Snapper of my own now, and I'm having fun.
Snap away.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, sir.
Missed you, Dennis.
All right, not a problem. I am, the pen is hovered above 56 for the X. We will move just barely. And 55 will get the X as well over. So let me make the official 55 mark here, and we'll go to SWL 57. That is Mr. Brown Dog Audio. Boat Anchors CB Radio Repairs working on a rig, cleaning up a cigar smoker's 20 GTL. And yeah, There's something about tar and nicotine that doesn't go well. They banned smoking long ago in the television and radio stations. Used to be able to do that, but I think the engineers just finally got tired of like you're doing. It's cleaning things up. So hope it comes out okay. There are tricks. You probably know a lot of them to get the radios cleaned up. So looking forward to you getting that back on the air or whatever you want to do with it. The next swap, someone asking the next swap. The one that just happened today is an annual swap that happens the second Saturday in November from the Fresno Amateur Radio Club. There may be others, but the big one is always in November. And it's usually the second weekend in November at the Lions Automotive Shop. So mark your calendar for that, and we'll try and be better about promoting it the prior week. And there used to be one at the antenna place, the M Squared. I do not believe they do that anymore. That was a nice one as well, but they haven't done that. Haven't done that in a while. Let's go to SWL 58. Shortwave listener 59. And where is Uncle Hairball? He's out there somewhere. Let me get an X in the square for 59. And Tyler, I see Alpha Kilo 295. I checked around. We don't have any conditions whatsoever. There wasn't much prior to the net. If you tried, when I came on, there was nothing going on. But we've got you from all the way from Anchorage, I do believe. So thanks for checking in with us tonight, Tyler. SWL 60. Hello, Joe. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Hello, gang out there in happy doggone Veterans Day to all the fellows there that served our country there. Dennis, doggone it, I hope you have a copy on this. I hope your battery's still working in this microphone. But we would like to check in, SWL 60, checking in and kind of updating you on the score, although we're way behind on the Fresno State game, 28-3. San Jose's lead.
Oh, San Jose, one of the big rivals. San Jose, Boise, Las Vegas. Are they playing in San Jose or are they here in town, do you know?
There's nothing happening here that I know of. The only thing they had on TV was Fuji, and I've never heard of Fuji TV. So they may be playing over there.
Okay, so there's probably a red wave heading out that way, or you're going to be heading back tonight or whatever. So at least the weather's good. All right, keep us updated on the score, and thanks.
28-3, not looking good. Okay, Dennis, SWL 60, checking in.
Yeah, that's not the best of scores. You know, I just updated my page. Normally it auto updates, and I was a little concerned because I hadn't seen some of the stations that are always there checking in, and they were there. So my apologies to 00, right on time. Also SWL 35, right on time, Bill. So if you were listening, definitely get you checked in. And we had the Fresno Amateur Radio Club swap meet today in the morning. Swap and sale, and got to see some good people. Definitely missed you and the Red Monkey crew. It'd be nice if you were just happened to be in town one of those times. Everybody would get a kick out of seeing you. SWL 13, Mr. Cobra, I see that you are on the list. We'll get you checked in and sounding good. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. Looking for SWL 62. And again, the Jingle Singers are, they're vacationing, is what I've been told tonight. But we do have on loan the Jingle Singers from Old Radio Night. And they are, let me tell you, they're first class, they're dressed up, the big orchestra's here. So I really appreciate Mr. JT, helping us out tonight. In fact, let's turn the microphone over to the Jingle Singers. I have no idea what they've got for us here. If anything, yeah.
Here's the weather.
The weather. Well, wait a minute. I don't know. We don't normally do the weather on the old 2 radio network, but I suppose if we would do that, I could give you a weather report. Let me see if it's going to load up the weather here tonight. And the weather so far here, it's currently temperature. The temperature is 56 degrees. The humidity is 65. The pressure's in millibars. I have no idea what that is. It's probably like 30 point something. And the wind is 0. We've got calm winds out of the north with no rain in sight. So how is that for you? Thanks for the weather report here on the old Tube Radio Network. We are looking for SWL 62. I think we already did that. SWL 63. From North Georgia, Butterbean with the check-in. Thank you. SWL 64, Craig and the gang out there running around Wisconsin tonight. And Craig is right there. I knew if I looked long enough, I would find it. So you are officially checked in. I don't want to miss anybody. SWL 65.
It's raining cats and dogs. Can I proxy Eric?
Yeah, we will do that. So it's raining up there? All right. It's kind of rain. You probably don't want to have your antenna going on. All right, so 65 is in. So much for the OTR weather report for accuracy. SWL 66. And thank you, Jingle Singers, by the way. We appreciate. Tell them that we appreciate them hanging out tonight. And JT, thanks for the loan. They're very professional. SWL 67. Canby, Oregon. We will get you checked in. I know sometimes the internet doesn't run the way it's supposed to. SWL 68, Michael checked in early. SWL 69, Kenny also checking in. Also checking in early from Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight. I think I need, instead of a foot switch, I need a butt switch. I can just bounce up and down in the chair and key the radio. I would probably have better luck doing it. Better luck doing it that way. SWL 70. SWL 71, Stan checking in as 00 and also as 71 with the 2-for-1 coupon tonight. And for another, looks like 3 weeks as we are on week 5 tonight. SWL 72. I'll get Radio Boy checked in. He was sounding good on the Ditch Bank sideband, or at least on sideband last night. He was sounding pretty good. Over to SWL 73, and I got a chance to meet 73 this morning. John was in charge of the fox hunt, the T-hunt. Had a nice little radio transmitter beacon set up. They hit it with antenna, and a couple guys had the quad, 2-meter quad on the stick, and another guy had a one of those tape measure 2-meter antennas on some PVC. And there was a couple others, and they did. I didn't get involved in the T-hunt, but they did find the transmitter and brought it back alive. So that was fun. Thanks, John, for doing that. John is one of the guys that usually finds the transmitter. So to make sure that he wouldn't outdo everybody this time, he was the guy that hid the transmitter. Let's go to SWL 74 and get a check-in for Ms. Jilly. Let's go to Red Fox 1. I know you've been waiting. SWL 76. So we've got an X in the square for you. guess I got to remember to refresh my comments so occasionally here. So I see what's going on. I hope all is well in Rhode Island. Yeah, looks like it's 30, cold 31 degrees. Is there a warm 31 degrees? I don't know. It's probably if you're coming off of, 10 below zero, and then it goes to 31 degrees. That would be a warm 31 degrees. 76 is in SWL 77. Someone says a proxy for 1017. I can do that. SWL 78. I haven't heard Richard. I heard someone calling for Richard, I think, on 40 meters the other day, but I didn't hear his response, if any. SWL 79.
79, check it in.
All right, you are sounding good, Mr. DC, and I've got the X in the square. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, and Elvis has just left the building. Brown Dog Audio 57, just checking. Oh, you know what? Central Kentucky, well, thanks for doing that. Central Kentucky had the blank because I probably didn't look in the right spot. So here's the official on the board, SWL 57 check-in, and thanks for... what do we say? Thanks for the recheck. The early check-in, the on-time check-in, and who knows what. And yeah, Hans reminds us there's Celsius and there's Fahrenheit. So if you're talking Celsius, which they do, in fact, everybody does except us. I don't know what's wrong with that. I should have my conversion chart. And I often do. If I'm on the ham radio, I try to have things converted so that I can speak the right language. So yeah, 31 degrees would be hot. So we get that. That's what we get in the summer around here, I'm pretty sure. Or more, perhaps. Thanks for the update. We are looking for SWL 80. Going to page 4, just an update. The big red limo and the big blue limo decked out today in the Veterans Day Parade, or they're going to be there on the Veterans Day Parade. It looks pretty good. They've got some of Fresno's finest riding in tow. I think one of the gentlemen was in his 90s, waving the flag. Looking good. Thanks for the big red and the big blue limousine representing the old Tube Radio Network. And looking good driving down the Fulton Avenue. Over to SWL 81. SWL 82.
Q checking in where it's nice and warm. And good evening. And good to see you today, Dennis.
Yeah, all right. So you decided to stay where it's nice and warm and not go out in the cold and the dust and all that. Now, Harvey said something about donuts. Did you see any donuts out there?
Yes, I did. I got one in my belly.
See, I guess I don't have a nose for donuts to know where they were. Otherwise, I would have walked right over and probably picked one up. That's what happens when you get there late. All right, well, it's confirmed. You're sounding good. The voice you just heard, Ron, is the station most of the time that you will hear as net control on the Ditchbank sideband. That happens Friday evenings here on the West Coast, Pacific Standard Time of 8 p.m. 27/365. Give a listen locally, give a listen in the DX world. You never know when the band will open. And bring by, we were talking about that this morning, bring by your tube workable sideband radio. And Ron will do his best to get it checked in. He will find you. Don't worry if you think you'll be off frequency. He's very good at finding you on frequency and getting you checked in. All right, thanks, Ron.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, we're just thinking we could use some more tube radio check-ins on the Ditchbanks net, and we know that there are some sideband radios out there that are very capable, such as the Tram Titan 2 and the 2A and the Regency Imperial and then a couple of the Brownings, and I think there's a A general radio telephone that does the same thing. 83, it is your turn, JZ, out near Sylvania, Ohio. We'll put in the X at the square for you, and thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. 46 degrees in Rockwood, Tennessee. Thanks, Foxman, 362. Humidity is 77. We're catching up with you guys finally with our humidity and our temperatures. Let's go to SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. The crew up that way, so you can often hear SWL 84 Jerry on the noontime, running the noontime net, running his old tube radios out there at, 7.204 megahertz on the 40-meter band. So thank you, Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, going to SWL 89. SWL 90. Shortwave listener 91. Hello, Felix. Checking in. Got all the items of interest. The honking, let's see, we can get a honking proboscis. You know, it's about time for me to pull out the photo. And I have not seen the Felix Mobile in town for a while. I know it's out there, the big yellow VW with Felix the cat. One of a kind. Definitely one of a kind automobile running around here in Fresno. Let's go to SWL 93. SWL 95, Warthog 95. Should be out of beautiful Orlando, Florida, where it's probably, I would think it's more than 46 or 30 degrees, or maybe it's 31 degrees Celsius in Orlando tonight. Who knows? Over to SWL 96, Mr. Prune Picker. SWL 97, Boston 97. Hello, Jim, if you are out there listening. Probably got some high 40 or 50 degree weather in Boston this evening. SWL 98, Tracy, we will get you checked in. Put the X in the square. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Radio Randy, I heard him earlier on 40 meters. He hasn't stopped by. We'll get a check-in for Randy. Probably disappointed that we don't have any conditions going on anywhere yet tonight. But it should happen. It is time for me to check out the Echolink link, were I to get the proper items of interest. So we'll give it a shot. Up on the Echolink link, looking for SWL 100, KD4BAO, KB6GFD, over. Tony will be joining us on the Echolink link tonight.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
And I'll tell you, Tony, you've got the best, clearest audio on Echolink there ever was. I try to get mine to sound that good, and it just doesn't work. So, speaking of good, clear audio, Tony is activating tubes on the air. It'll be coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining us tonight. 73, KB6GFD. 100 is in. How about shortwave listener 102? Hello, John. He's listening in. He's put the X right where it needs to be. Didn't indicate to take his test. Oh, no. The person who was covering his shift at W called in sick. Oh, no. All right, tell you to take it next month. Well, you know what? That'll just be a little more time to confidentally, now that would be a better word, if there's such a word, study. And were you saying you might go ahead and do both tests, jump up? So that might be a good thing. You'll be able to get them both out of the way. And I can't remember if you how long you have to wait once you take the test. If you don't have a license already, before you've got to get your call. But if you already had a call, you can jump right into it. So I think that's going to work out okay. So as we used to say in the business, bummer. But he's not giving up. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I know about those. Someone called in sick. I used to get the 4 a.m. calls at the TV station. Someone called in sick. It's 4 a.m. and we'd like you to get out of bed now. The guy with the good ears, thanks for the 10-5. James, if you were out there, SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. I think you made Sam's evening by noting that he was out on the frequency. Thanks for doing that. You are sounding good, and we've got your X in the square.
Thank you, Dennis. You're sounding good tonight.
From beautiful, crisp, and cold Auberry tonight, overlooking the Central Valley out towards the coastal range of mountains and beyond. Let's go to SWL 110. Shortwave listener 111. Robert checked in earlier. He does and I don't recall, is it Western Public Service net? On 75 meters, he was in net control, so he's recuperating for that. Thanks for doing that, Robert, and thanks for your service to our country. Let's go to SWL 113. Get the right number here, and I'll get Tom checked in. We were talking about Tom, Sanger Tom today. We thought he might have been at the swap, but he wasn't. Wayne, Rickshaw, SWL 114, hello radio.
114, checking in.
As always, sounding good on, I think you're on the Cobra, sounding good, and we've got you checked in. Over.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
I keep hearing the band noise, almost like the band wants to open up, almost like there wants to be something coming through. When it gets that noise like it has now, you got to watch out. SWL 128, John is in, checking in moments ago, about an hour ago. Over to oldtuberadio.net. Let's try SWL 131. SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
Hello, if this thing is working, SWL 135 checking in.
It's sounding bueno, and we will hear more from that radio coming up shortly. Thanks. And someone just came in the door up there waving their hands. Who's up in the balcony saying, check me in, check me in. Hold up your number. Hold the flashlight up to your number. Do you have a number? You don't have to have a number. Oh, SWL 5, it's Levon. All right, well, how could I miss you? All right, have a seat. Oh, you're coming down. All right, he's coming down to the green room to do some stuff. Thank you, Levon, for joining us tonight. Mr. Rainmaker. It is... well, it's not quite Sunday yet there, I don't think. Where are we going? Let's go to SWL... Oops. Got to stay keyed up. Let's go to... they don't hear me. SWL 137. It's hard to check in if net control calls your number, but you don't hear it. Let's try Tony, SWL 145.
45 checking in. You got a good signal tonight, Dennis. 145 checking in.
Yeah, we've got some clear sailing. The atmosphere is good. We don't have a lot of skip thanks to the time change, and likewise, you are sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, let me see if I can do something here with Tony. The Friday questions, of course, with my schedule, I'm missing the Friday... I'm missing the early risers net. It's on every morning at 7. But I miss the Friday version where the voice you just heard is the net control. It does a great job. Questions that were you listening, you might have heard, or were you participating, you might have got to answer. And I cannot read this. Why can I not read this? Okay. The factory, in the Kenwood factory, the TS520, which was their, I think, late 1970s rig, great seller. I know a guy that worked at HRO at the time. He said that was one of the best sellers, the TS520, the 530. The TS520 used which tubes in the final? Which tubes in the final? Well, I would have messed that one up. Because I never owned a TS520. I had the Yaesu 101, like a lot of us did, that used the sweep tubes, 6JS6Cs with the 12BY7A drivers. And I would have guessed the same thing for the 520, maybe a 6146. That's kind of early for that. The FT102s are the 6146. But the answer is the S2001A. I'm not even familiar with that tube. Harvey, are you listening? What is an S2001A? And it was in the TS520. So I'm going to say they were probably similar to a 6146 or maybe a sweep. I don't think that's a sweep tube, but maybe put out the same output. I think there was probably two driven by like a 12BY7A. All right, question number 2. Thanks, Tony. Early receivers utilized power from 3 battery sources. How were these batteries identified? Now, I know this one because I have an old Hallicrafters portable receiver that uses one of those batteries. And I think it's called a B cell or B battery. It's like a 90-volt battery. But the A, B, and C batteries, you could probably do a search for A, B, and C batteries, and you'll see the old Evereadys and the big cardboard boxes of various voltages to work for the tube filaments and everything else. Pretty cool. So, yeah, early receivers and the portable receivers utilized batteries. A, B, and C. Just try and find those today. I don't know if they pack them, if they make them look the same and they pack them with, double A cells to make them work. I'm not sure what they do, but you can probably find them. That might take you a while. Tony's checked in, 145. Neil, SWL 147, checked in earlier from Kakalaki. Let's go over to Bobby, SWL 188.
Evening time, Dennis. Evening time to all SWLs, 188 checking in.
All right, sounding good, sir. If you can hear Skip tonight, you're doing good, because it seems to be perfectly quiet.
Yeah, I got a little chatter coming in.
Yeah, I keep hearing something trying to happen, but not sure if that's some ground wave stuff, because we've got good conditions tonight, or we're going to have some E-skip. But I hear you perfectly, and that's what counts.
10-4. Good evening time.
All right, Mr. Snowbeast, sounding good tonight. Panama is listening in tonight. Hotel Papa 4. Echo Mike Charlie. Beaconing into the central valley of the state of California in the United States tonight via the Old Tube Radio Network. Hope you are having a good... Is it morning there? I don't have one of those geochron clocks to accurately know how to do that on your. But anyway, it's good morning somewhere on a 506 UTC. Let's go to SWL 195. Jim checked in early. If you're listening, Jim, have a great evening. And Mr. Shockwave, SWL 226. Shockwave is like James up there in Auberry. He's up in Mariposa, and oftentimes he will hear stations all across the valley. He will hear stations coming in from the other side, like Santa Cruz and things like that. So it's always a treat to have that nice little extra height above average terrain radio station to help us out when we are doing the roll call. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glow in the dark. I'm warning the jingle singers, I might be calling on you. They're saying, okay, during the Tube Radio time to liven things up a bit. I don't know what you have for us, but I appreciate you guys being here, you guys and gals being here, and I will be right back so we can check in some Tube Radios. You are tuned to and listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us. All right, and I just lost the audio stream. We will get that back. I actually think that was an operator error here, so let me dial that back up. All right. Audio stream is back up. I'll have to do the reverse double audio thing so it doesn't drive us crazy. Oh, I know why I'm not getting updates. Because we weren't on. Well, we'll fix that. Because we weren't on. Well, we'll fix that. All right, good to go. Audio number 2, where are you? Let's roll that one off and get rid of the double whammy. Oh, and I got to update that too. Boy, I'm way behind here. You know, if I don't get my act together, they're going to take away my pocket protector. That's looking good. Okay. It never fails, does it?
Is it almost time? I guess that was maybe. I couldn't understand whoever that was.
Said it could be.
Oh, I heard you that time. Is this thing working, Joe?
Uh-huh.
You're kind of distorted. I said, is this working? Over. Oh, you got a squirrel in your deal. It did it again. Look at your meter, you see it. Ooh, it's covering you up.
It's the mud.
It was working that time.
Well, I switched it over to the left side.
Oh, you took it from right hand, put it in the left hand?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, it's a left-handed mic, not right-handed. You got to do it right.
I got to remember that trick.
It might work sometimes, Dennis.
You know, sometimes that is the best way to just do something that's a little bit goofy. You don't know if it'll work, but here we go. Speaking of work, I think it is tube time. Jingle singers, our guest jingle singers are here tonight. I don't know what they're going to do, but here we go. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar. You can listen with your whole family.
All right, listen. Yes, indeed. Listen with the whole family in the neighborhood bar. Maybe you're watching the game. I don't know where you are, but in Jingle Singers tonight, encourage you all to listen and participate in the Old Tube Radio Network. And that is what this is, the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing the airwaves since somewhere in the mid-1980s when a group of citizen band crazies got together and said, let's go down to Channel 11 to get away from all the noise. And when we do that, we will bring our tube radios with us, and we'll just kind of have a good time. talk about radio stuff. I am signing in officially to the Tube Radio list for November 11th, 2023. Hope I can read that. in 10 years from now, kind of scribbled that on there. I've got the foot switch going. I'm kind of fighting with that. So if I keep cutting in and out, it's not your radio. It's just, this is my least favorite one. That's the one that I was able to fix. But it keeps me from doing the contortions up at the desk, but I do everything down here now. So there's got to be a better way. I know Vox isn't the most suitable thing for AM, but I'm beginning to think that it just might work. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We are listening for any and all radio check-ins.
3737.
135, 135.
60.
14.
All right. Let's take the first four. I will take them in order of appearance. So Radio 4 will be 14, will be Sean. Radio 3 will be Joe. Radio 2 on the list will be Mr. Cliff. We check out the green room, won't you? And we'll be right back to you. Radio number 1 on the list, or the first one, because saying that you're number 1 that's a subjective thing. There might be a lot of people that say, "Oh, I don't know if that's the number 1 radio tonight," but it is the one that's going to be first on our list. Hello, Chris.
Okay, well, it's number 1 on my list. I want to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A 24-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and this here's like, it's got the little man in the wheelchair up there, and, we're running this from the stock handheld microphone. Over.
We will get a picture of the general radio telephone Super MC11A, one of those cool pictures from the photo collection of Cliff, who we'll be hearing from next. There was one really nice Robin T240D radio, really nice, all wrapped up in some shrink-wrap plastic with the microphone and the cord at the swap today. I don't know if anybody bought it, and I'll have to ask Harvey if he saw that. And when I went by the table a little later, it wasn't there. It was in a different spot somewhere. So maybe someone picked it up. Hopefully someone picked it up locally. If not, I know the guy who owns it. I know where it's at, or I know how to get it, or to get to it. So if it's still around. But let's talk about the radio at hand. The Super MC11A, which I did not see. I did not see any general radio telephones out of the swap today. But were there a few? I'm sure they would have been snatched up. Take a transmission. Over.
What kind of radio was that again?
The Robin T240D, that's the 40-channel version with the yellow knobs and the yellow. That was out at the swap today.
I'll just check. Oh, yeah, but yes, this is my general. It definitely mine. The only thing it don't have is my name on it, but it has my name in it.
Well, yeah, maybe it's in there somewhere. Maybe your name is etched somewhere on the case behind the old man in the wheelchair.
I do see my initials in one of the words over here. It says squelch. My initials are in there somewhere.
Now, there would be a project. There would be something to do, and I don't know what the official word is called when you take a word and you rearrange the letters in that word, or the words, to make other words, like, general radio telephone. So general, you would say, well, how many different words can I make out of general? Well, you can make, R-E-G-A-L, right? You could make regal or something. And so you go on and you make a list. So, that might be the homework assignment tonight for our radio operators. You have to take the name of the radio that you're checking in, and then come back next week with a list of other names that you made out of the rearranging the letters. And we'll grade you on that. No, we won't grade you. It's supposed to be fun. Super MC11A, 24 channels, and tell us again, the 24th channel is what?
Air National Guard or something like that?
Close. Maybe the same thing. The Civil Air Patrol, CAP, and I can't remember if on your radio it actually says CAP on there or not, but it's got a 26 think it's 26 meg crystal on there. I think that was their way, their sneaky little way. There were sneaky things that people did. Browning did sneaky things to get their tunable via phone. I think General Radio Telephone did the sneaky thing to put the Civil Air Patrol in their radio so that you could have sequestered in that radio, 15 watt, 35 watt DC input by putting a plug in the back. But not for Class D 11 meter, but it was in there. Take another transmission. Oh.
It did say CAP, and there's another word in that dial too. You turn it over to channel 9, you know what it says? Help!
Channel 9 help, and a green dial. Well, that's good. And, sometimes when you are in the heat of needing help and your hands are shaking, it is good to... I know that number's in here somewhere. You would see help, and you would know, okay, you wouldn't have to remember that it was Channel 9. Back in the day, the West Coast REACs, the REAC stations, did a very good job for the truckers, for mobile radio operators. We had one down in Los Angeles area in the South Bay on their 24. They had the whole family, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping out. So they did a good job. You are radio number 1 with the Super MC11A from General Radio Telephone. It has 9 tubes. The elusive ECLL800 in the output modulator, and of course a 12AX7A. I think you've got one of the sweet rolled tubes in that. That audio sounds good. Take a transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Yes, I thank you for being there. Oh, well, at least we got one of them in there. So anyway, Dennis, thank you. I'm out, and you never know, I may pop back in.
All right, we will be here till 10 o'clock or whenever. So we would love to have you back just to say hello or bring a radio or whatever it is that you want to do. Thanks for that.
20 on the list.
20 as Radio 5, sounding good. As Chris heads off with his consolation prize. Are we giving away toasters? No, I don't know what we're doing. We do have the Jingle Singers joining us tonight. And what do they...
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
Wait a minute. That's not very nice. Well, anyway, thanks for stopping by, Chris, and hello, Cliff.
Hello, Dennis.
I am going to erase the radio palette here and make it clean so that I can put in whatever radio that you might have, and I have no idea what it is, so go ahead.
Stand by.
All right, I would venture to ask the Jingle Singers to help us out on the standby here, but I'm just a little afraid, so I will stand by. Well, maybe. Okay, it's up to you, Jingle Singers. This is what the Jingle Singers do for us here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Whenever there's a lull, as we say, or a pause, we throw it over to them to promote a little bit of goodwill and excitement for the next radio. So here we go.
We're a little late, so say goodbye.
Okay, hello.
Hello. All right. Well, we're not that late, and we're not saying goodbye just yet. We're saying hello to radio number 2. Go ahead.
Okay, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is the International Crystal Executive CTZ 100. That's Charlie Tango Zulu 100. It's a 12-channel transmit and anything you want receive type radio. There are 11 tubes. That's right, this is 11 day. So there's 9 tubes in the radio, 2 tubes in the external speaker S meter, meant for a total of 11. And it's on channel 11, and today is 1111. So there's a lot of 11s going on. Now back to you.
There is 1111 in our item today, and a little 11 for the executive radio. This is from the collection of Bob Milam. May have some family members. Jones watching the show, watching the net here, listening in, and we appreciate the very nice quality photo that we've got of this radio, and I think I'll have to check the Rolodex, but I will also have the meter if we talk about that as well. So I think I've got the right one. It is the CT, what I'm showing is the ICM CTZ 100, because there were some various versions of that. Very interesting looking, and back to you on the, well, that's a 23. Tell us about this. Looks like it may have 23 channels, but only on receive.
Yeah, that is correct. It's a 12-channel transmit, crystal controlled, and all the other channels on VFO. And then you also have an option of, there are two crystal controlled receive channels you can have. I have channel 9 and channel 11, naturally, for those, but right now I'm on the VFO because that's just the way to go. If I get terribly confused, I'll switch to the channel 11 crystal to make sure I'm on the right frequency. Let's see, my meter is showing just the teeniest bit high. I'm at 0853, right around there. So just a little teeny bit high, but hopefully well within your pass band. Oh, the microphone, I forgot the microphone. This is a Turner Plus 3B desk microphone. I'm not using the original tonight.
The audio is good. I'm not sure if that's what you were, this is the radio you were testing on before. It sounds fine. I'll, I need to check when stations come in. I usually check my incoming audio to make sure that it works on the orb band meter, so I'll do that with you the next go around. And I also wanted to do a quick check. Oh, we have a rear side. Let me put up the rear projection of that radio. And look at that. Schematics, the tubes, fuse, antenna, the interesting power switch, the push to reset. I thought it said push to start there for a minute. The crystal area. Okay, so that's the second trans power supply. And somewhere I know I've got the other part. But serial number 99479 is the one we're looking at. But I'm sure yours is obviously different than that. 6-volt DC, 10 amps. Wait a minute, that's a 12-volt DC? All right, power requirements. So I guess you could probably, with that multiple pin plug, go 6 or 12 somehow. But you are running, my guess is off the 115 volts, is that correct?
Yes, I'm currently running regular house current. But yeah, you can use those, excuse me, the multiple, what is there, 18 pins on that power socket plug area. You can take this mobile on either 6 volts or 12 volts, but yeah, I'm currently in the base station configuration. I say with the external, 5x7 speaker and the S meter, and that's all that does. It's a 0 to 60 S meter, but it also has, I think, is that millivolts? It goes 0 to 150 on the top scale. I think that's a millivolt receive. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, I think I just found the Rolodex card. Let me see, I'll pop it up here, and there it is. So here's what we're looking at. If you were at the video, or it'll show up also at altuberadio.net for the photo. The International Crystal Manufacturing Executive S unit. Let me get a close-up of that. And speaker, it's got two little side marks, so I think either dual speakers or, like I said, one speaker behind the unit here. 150, that must be millivolts. I don't think it was dBm. It would be heading towards what, 0 as it got to 60. Now that, sir, is pretty cool. Back to you.
Yeah, at least on mine, the bottom scale is 60, and the top 50. On the bottom it says S units and then dB, like normal, like we've all seen. But on the top it doesn't really explain what those numbers are. I'm just assuming microamp. Over.
All right, sorry, I couldn't get my mode switch back on. I went to do a 0 beat, and for some reason I got locked out of AM. That was so weird. The people listening was hearing all this stuff on your signal as I was pressing buttons trying to get it to go back to AM. But you are very close to being right on frequency, maybe 100 cycles high, if that much. I just wanted to do that. So I actually missed a little bit of what you said because I couldn't get out of the mode selector switch. 40, 20, 50 selectables. So does your meter, and maybe you already told me this, but I missed it, when you transmit, does the meter do anything? Does it show output?
Negative. Yeah, that's one of the weird things about this. They went to all the trouble to do all this stuff with this external meter, and yeah, it doesn't show SWR, power, or anything. It's all just receive.
Okay, but it's a nice addition and a little bit different. You know, some of the extras that we see on the other radios would be, say, like the Demco modulator or an external speaker, which I suppose this is, but an external S meter with some functionality is also cool. And there may be, like if you're running 12 volts, some extra power supply that goes with it, which you are not. Executive International Crystal Manufacturing, and let me maybe go to the rear again and give our congratulations to Oklahoma City. Everybody out there watching, listening from Oklahoma City, stand up and take an applause for International Crystal Manufacturing Company, who I believe was in business for almost, well, I think the company's been sold, but they were in business just not too long ago. Over to you. Take a transmission. This is always a pretty radio, I think. It's just a little different looking, and if you were not to know, you might not even think it's a radio.
Yeah, it's definitely got a deco kind of appearance to it. That's what I really liked about it, especially in the two-piece mode. I can run it with or without that speaker, but you know, if you got more pieces to hook them up. It's more fun that way. I don't really know too much about the company. I think, but I'm not certain, that this radio came out, this particular version. There were several of these. The CTZ 100, I think, came out in 61. Might have been 60 or 61. And then there was like an A, B, C, and D version. And then there's several others, none of which are found in any of the SAMs. So you cannot get information out of the SAMs on these radios. Why they were all left out of there, I'm not sure. But that's been what I've found. So with that, yeah, any information on the company, I would love to hear about. Like, did they make crystals? I think I remember Harvey saying something about that they actually made a lot of the crystals that we use in our radios, but I'm not sure. Yeah, when did they go out? You said just recently?
I think so. Let me take an old buzzard, and thank you, Cliff, for radio number 2, the ICM CTZ 100. I'll take a long transmission just to acknowledge that we have coming up next Joe, after that Sean, and then after that Harvey on the radios. If I keep the radio keyed, after 66 years, Crystal manufactured to close its doors on Film Row. Royden Friedland Sr. founded the International Crystal Manufacturing in 1951 in Oklahoma City, Film Row District. So there's something called the Film Row District in the in Oklahoma City, which is where they were. Later this year, the company will close its doors. Now I'm looking for a date stamp on this article, 2017. So 2017. ICM, now run by the founder's son, Royden Friedland Jr., produces quartz crystals of a variety of electronic devices such as radios, microwave systems, and medical devices. The journal's records, Molly Fleming writes, ICM primarily produces small quantities of crystals business used to be booming. In the 1980s, Freeland had over 200 employees. Isn't that the way all these scenarios go? You know, Browning had hundreds of employees and Johnson had hundreds of employees. So over hundreds of employees at Crystal Manufacturing Company, but technology and electronic manufacturing has changed since then. Today he has 13 workers in 2017. And I quote, "A big part of the crystal industry went to China," he said, adding that it was easier to assemble the electronics since the other pieces were made in China as well. The company will likely close its doors in May of 2017. A difficult decision. Freeland has worked at ICM since 1965. He took over the company after his parents died in a plane crash in 1978. His sisters were once co-owners, but Freeland Jr. bought them out in the early 2000s. So there's more to this article. I won't go through the whole thing. It says the company has been hurt by technological advances. They sell crystals that used to be common in radios and other devices, but there's a lot less demand now, and there's a lot more competition from overseas. It says this is the last big piece of film row that's available to develop, and the buildings are in good shape. So they're, I guess, going to sell the buildings and some other things. What is it? Historical elements are intact. That's not the kind of thing that becomes available very often. The package and both buildings and the parking lot were for sale for $3.1 million. There's a lot of people interested. So what happened to all those crystals? Are they hanging around? Did somebody take over that? That's what we really need to know. So there you go. Thank you to Royden Freeland and Royden Freeland Jr. Over.
Information.
Information. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the CTZ 100 schematics were drawn 6/29 of 61. They were checked the next day, or 6/29/61. They were checked by another guy the next day, and the radio's effective service date was 9/26/61.
I think it said they started in 1951. So yeah, you know, they 200 employees. They're going to do a good job on making sure everything's documented.
Roger. Well, this is for the 100. So all the other earlier models, well, a few years earlier.
Absolutely. All right, let me clear with Cliff on the CTZ 100. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Hello?
Yes, thanks for bringing by the CTZ 100. Over.
Okay. Thanks for letting me check it in. Yeah, the International Crystal Executive CTZ 100 coming at you. Kitty wants to key up the microphone now. I will see you next week.
Same tube time, same tube channel. You are listening to or watching somewhere or participating in, or perhaps all three, something we call the Old Tube Radio Network. And we've been doing this locally here in the Central Valley of California on the air since the mid-1980s. We've added some fancy 21st century video and audio streaming to go along with the old radios. And we appreciate all those that join us and do the same thing, maybe where you are at, and give us information that we just can't glean all the time. So thanks for that. The Jingle Singers are, you got something for us? All right, go right ahead.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
Well, anyway, thanks, Cliff. Let's go to SWL 60. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Dennis. Yep. Down here. She's still squealing there, Dennis.
Okay, that the squeal went away at the end when you said, "Is she still squealing?" So I could hear that. Go ahead and take a transmission that way. The signal isn't full quieting, but I can hear you. At least I can get the radio logged in as radio number 3, over.
Boy, there, Dennis. Appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of turned off the little kicker it has. Maybe that's too much for it right now. It's turned up to 5. Anyway, I'd like to check in my messenger, my Johnson Blackface Messenger 2.
All right, the Johnson E.F. Johnson Blackface Messenger 2, another company started long ago by somebody doing something on a table and said, "Hey, we can provide a service and maybe make a living doing this." The messenger, I believe it is TWO. Go to one on the table here. So you should have a dial on the left, a dial on the right, with a little window, and then a knob on the bottom as well. So there's four knobs, no waiting, as we used to say.
Yeah, she kind of confused me a little bit there when I first turned it on there. Because the squawk used to be on and off switch. And as you turn it to the right to turn it on, you gotta stop. Go any further as you put squawk on the radio. And then I jump over to the left side and hit the volume. And there we go. This is 10 Tuesday, Dennis, on 10 channel. And right now we are on channel C, channel 11. I did have a little kicker on it, but I turned it off. I'm getting the squealing coming on. But anyway, the microphone is D104, and we'll, after transmission, we'll finish dusting it off and checking it out.
All right, very good. Thanks for bringing it by. I don't know, sometimes the squeal is indicative of many things. One of them could be an improper match on the antenna, or something it doesn't like on the jumper cable between whatever. That's something to check out, since it's not doing it when you are running solo there. So it sounds like it's not a microphone problem per se, but could be some impedance or matching issue between the radio and the device, or the device and the antenna, or something like that. So something to check out. You are radio number 3, the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. Good to have you back on the airwaves. There were different versions of that to run 6 volts and 110 volts or 17 volts, what you're doing. We had an 11-tube radio and a 9-tube radio. You are the 10-tube radio with 23-channel tunable receiver. The tunable receiver, and it's sounding good. Take another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it, it's always a pleasure to keep these things up. I'll work on this thing, and of course I'll work on the rest of them there. They are a little bit dusty, and we'll take care of it. SWL 6, we'll be on.
All right, we enjoy the radios and always are glad when our, here's the cue for the jingle singers, are always glad when they stop by.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thanks for stopping by. And let's go over to, if we still have conditions, and I can still keep the radio, to Sean out there in Sanger. Hello, radio. Hello, Sean, over.
Yeah, SWL 14. I'd like to check in my Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB radio tonight.
All right, the Golden Eagle Mark III. I think we had a discussion about some Browning Laboratories malfeasance, but that obviously wasn't on the Mark III, over.
Yeah, that's correct. It was the Mark IV is in need of Harvey's services. And I also was fooling around and made a little adjustment on the reverse preamp. I turn the knob clockwise, and hopefully have a little more swing on the needle tonight.
Oh yeah, it sounds really good. In fact, I'll get an S-meter cam. Nice audio, good forward movement. It is doing everything it's supposed to do. Over.
Well, I appreciate the report on the audio there. Everything is glowing nicely tonight. I can smell all kinds of tubes and whatnot. Plus, I lit me a small Indian fire in the fireplace, and it quickly became shorts weather in the living room here.
Did he say the floor is broken?
Yeah, but that's nice. It's just sort of that way with the heat in the radio room here. I actually have the window open to do something like that, so that's good. That's the way that the radios. Let me get the picture back up. But that's the way the radios should definitely be enjoyed. Radio number 4, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and Harvey, I do believe that he would also be checking in the Mark IV, but it did some strange things back in the area where the fuse is in the back of the radio or something. Over.
Yeah, that is correct. It made a loud buzzing sound and then went dead, and then I went to check the fuse without unplugging it, and it lit me up for a little bit.
Okay, after the show is over, give me a call.
Yeah, roger that. You're the first guy on my list for any kind of Browning audio repairs.
Okay. Yeah, after the show, give me a call. All right, I'm out, Dennis.
All right, Sean, take another transmission. You're sounding good.
Yeah, I appreciate the quick response on the repair work. I will call you after the show, Harvey. I'm also looking forward to the radios that you're going to be bringing tonight. And is the one radio you were advertising, is that a Magic Tube I radio?
No, it's not.
Okay, well, thanks for the intel there, and I appreciate the time, and looking forward to hearing what you got to offer tonight.
Okay.
And Sean, the radio is sounding good. Just a night and day difference in the signal. It's playing well with the audio. Sometimes you got to be careful when you do amplification, that if it's not done right, it will actually make whatever you're running sound not good at all. This is just the opposite. Everything sounds good. It sounds, if your signal goes up 5 times, you're sounding 5 times better. So back to you. You are Radio 4, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. So it's playing well. It's making up for the 4 as well. Back to you for a transmission. I'll put the S-meter back up again. And good to see you. Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, it was nice to finally get to meet you in person after watching you on the YouTube for a couple of years now. I think I've been at this 2 years or, about that. But also I'm on an unamplified D104 microphone, and appreciate the time tonight for the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III.
Hey, definitely appreciate your time for bringing it by.
Thanks for stopping by.
The Jingle Singers like it as well. The Old Tube Radio Network on a Saturday evening, as we are most Saturdays. I guess as many as we can fit into a 52-week year, we try to be on the air and allow people a chance to check in the radios in this forum or show. Did somebody say show? Are we putting on a show? It's basically just the Old Tube Radio Network and nothing fancy except for the radios. Harvey, are you ready? Over.
I'm ready. Okay, I'm looking at the time, and I've got 3 or 4 other radios. I got to take this off the bench and put the others on, so I'll kind of make it quick. This is a Chris 23 Plus. It's got the stock hand mic. It's got good receive, hopefully good transmit. It's got the tilt bail with it. I've gone through, done the tubes, replaced the blow-up cap, the little oil-filled one. It's got a 3-conductor power cord so you don't shock yourself. And for Sean, I had my modulator on when I first talked to you, so if you can hear me, this is without the modulator. So there you go. Anyway, Chris 23 Plus, I will ship if it needs to be shipped, but hopefully not. 125, and I'll basically bring it to the person's place. They can hook it up and see it. Okay, that's this one. And then I've got a couple of... I gotta get to it. Thank you, Dennis.
Did I hear you say a Chris 23 Plus?
Yeah, a Chris 23 Fat Boy.
Okay, yeah. Is it the same one like I have?
It's prettier than yours.
Oh, you're trying to hurt my feelings now.
Well, that was the whole idea. Now, this one, a couple weeks ago, I lucked into a deal where I could purchase about 7 radios. Next week, I'm going to try and get 3 more. Anyway, this was one of them. Magic Eye-wise, another one was a Robin T123, but I haven't been able to get that to transmit. It receives, no transmit. So I got to work on it. Anyway, yeah, this one's real pretty. Got the tilt sail stand on it, so it looks really good. Anyway, back to you, Dennis, and I got to undo this one, get another one on.
And I've got the same stand.
All right, Harvey, do not rush. Take your time. Be safe. We'll chat a bit. I've got the jingle singers here. They're to get me into trouble. So we don't want you to get into trouble. We've already got somebody to do that. The Chris 23 Plus, you just heard it. It is Radio 4. And it is the Panasonic 2 chassis, same as the Robin T123 and the T-Berry and all that. They just, this one doesn't have a lot of the fancy front lights, but it's got the mod light, meter switch, and some other things. But you look inside, it's still got the plate modulation like the other ones, 23 channels, 5-watt input, will go 12-volt DC if it has the right cable. Runs about 17 pounds. Panasonic chassis out of Japan, and this one's NCB 45. So thanks, Harvey, as he tunes up, or not tunes up, but what is he doing? Oh, he's putting a new radio. That he'll probably be Radio 5 as well. We'll get them all going on here tonight. So the jingle singers. What have you jingle singers to pass the time?
Time to talk about sports. Please lower your IQ.
Well, wait a minute. Is there anybody that knows the score for the game tonight?
Dennis, I don't know if you want to really hear it. It may be as bad as my bad-sounding radio here. 3510. That's how far back we are. San Jose, 35, Fresno State 10.
All right, well, we are definitely going the wrong way from the last score, and I'm assuming we are somewhere in the fourth quarter.
Third quarter.
Oh, still in the third quarter. All right, well, there is time. We might be able to talk about more sports. All right, very good. Did you say you had a radio to check in?
And I got one, too.
Harvey, 60.
Did you say you had one to check in, or that's the one you did check in?
Oh, I'm going to check another one in.
All right, let me see if Harvey's got his next one ready to go. If not, we'll take your check in.
So.
Yeah. I'm ready. Over.
All right, Harvey, go ahead with your next item of interest. Over.
Okay. This is a Tram Titan 2A. Not the 2. And by the way, Dennis, you have not the Titan, you have the Titan 2, or the Titan 1-1 for 11. There you go. This is the 2A, forerunner of the D201 as far as looks. The wood cabinet type sides, etc. Total wood cabinet. Anyway, this one looks pretty good. I'm waiting on 3 tubes. The modulator and the twin finals. These are fine, but I want better ones. But it is for sale. $250. No mic, but I will include a mic plug for it and the wiring. If it stays local, I'll wire up somebody's mic for it. Anyway, this is a nice radio. Looks pretty clean. No mods done to it at all that I can see. Anyway, Tram Titan 2A, $250 plus shipping if it needs to be shipped.
All right, and I agree with Mark that 4799. Nothing sounds like tubes. The Tram Titan 2A, when Tram realized they could have the Tram Titan, the Titan 2, with the utility look, with rack handles and a silver front, and it might be in the garage, or they could woo the XYL when you brought this radio in, and you could set it in the living room next to the Sherwood stereo, or the Macintosh stereo, or the Zenith television, and it would look just like it belonged. Now, it might put out some crazy noises, but it would certainly do a good thing. Very nice. Close to being right on frequency, and good audio for sure. The Tram Titan 2 Alpha. And yes, thank you for the clarification on the Tram Titan 2, which is, at least from looks, the Titan 2 seems to be a much different radio. Whether it is inside, I don't know. It seems like this one you're going to need lemon pledge and some Armor All to keep the thing nice and spiffy. Okay, you're going to, let me go back to you, Harvey, to see if you're still there, because I know you want to switch to a different radio, but just in case you need to make another transmission, go ahead.
Roger. The 2A has adjustable transmit frequency. I can adjust this one up or down. It's stock on the radio, similar to the Mark III. So if you said I was almost on frequency, I can get it there. But anyway, I got to take this off the bench. These are the 2, the first one and this one, that are for sale. This one's $250. There were 3 other trams, and one's already shipped and at its location, and another one was local and it's at its location, and a third one is going to be put up on the bench next so the person can hear it, and it'll be shipped next week. So let me get to that. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Harvey. A busy guy, just doing whatever he does, and then a busy guy when it comes to radio stuff. So I don't know how he does it. I think he's an AI thing, or he's got a clone or something like that. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio is glowing in the dark. Thanks to the jingle singers filling in for our illustrious jingle singers tonight. So thank you, Harvey.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
And we do want you to come back. Just kind of ignore them. They're new. We're not keeping them, but Harvey will come back with radio. So in the meantime, if I can keep the radio keyed with the foot switch from you-know-where, we will go to, who said they had a radio? Oh, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Joe, did you have a radio?
Dennis, we'd like to check in our favorites. If you've got a little time there for 7 tubes and 8 channels on a Turner Plus 3, we'd like to check in our I guess that's World Radio Labs. Yeah, my Hustler Radio.
WRL, thank you, Leo Meyerson, and I'm not sure this time, I guess it was still, it was World Radio Labs, and called the Hustler, and they had the Globe Kings and the Globe Scouts, and their entry, one of their entries, there was many, into CB radio, and so when you couldn't move the XYL with wooden cases and at least trickery to get into the living room, you could get, I bet you could do it with this looking more like a tabletop AM radio, the pretty blue radio that maybe would go with, the furniture or the upholstery or something. So hats off to Leo Meyerson. Blue radio, not a lot to it, 7 tubes, almost as though Madman Muntz had gotten in and started pulling out tubes and had to stop at 7 because after that it didn't work. But it works for us. Take a transmission.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. I'm always happy to key this one up, and that she does work. Okay, I'll back on out of here. Like I said, 7 tubes, 8 channels. Channel 11 is on 3. Thank you much, Dennis, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, hardwired microphone in 23 channels with the tuning selector knob, and then 8 crystal-controlled channels as put forth by the FCC. Before we go back to Harvey, so take a breath, Harvey. If you need to get a glass of water, some Ovaltine, go do that. I want to say, who's just joined us? It was Mark, the voodoo guy from Lake Alvenar. And Chris, while we're waiting, jump into the air chair. You'll be radio number 8. I know you've got something for us, but I always love to get a chance to show off. Let me find the less than stellar close-up camera here. It's around here somewhere, and show off the less than stellar Voodoo Labs. Now behind me, you would think, well, that's a lot of voodoo stuff, but it really isn't. It's just a lot of audio stuff. But there are true voodoo radios right here in California, and you really have to work to do it right. You've got to change out components and roll the tubes and make sure it's hooked to a radio that is, well, like what we're listening to tonight. It's got something special on it. So hats off to the people that are still wanting in this 21st century day and age of let's go to the drive-up window, let's get digital, to go in and think, well, no, there's still room for voodoo. So thanks for joining us, Mark. Chris, are you still there?
Still here, doggone it. Their intentions were to put a little something on a little box like this. I call it a half a loaf of bread. Knobs, crystal slot in the front, a little light indicating that we're operating, and a meter, speaker up front, 4 knobs, a spotter switch. Boy, they were going to town on this one for just being 7 tubes.
I'm back.
All right, stand by, Harvey. Thank you very much. Well, the World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson, made radios that were 500 watts and 150 pounds. So when it came to trying to make something that was 12 pounds and would work for the Class D 11-meter citizen radio service, they just had to kind of pin them down and tear it up and put it together back again, and you have what you've got. Thanks, Joe, Radio 7 for the Hustler.
Thank you much, Dennis, and thanks a lot, Harvey, for being patient.
Okay, and I want to, let me grab Chris, because he's been patient here, and I'll get that in, and then we'll check out what Harvey's got as it warms, give it a little more time to warm up. Hello, 37.
Hello, Dennis. Is this thing working?
It is working over.
I would like to check in my G PowerMate Gem Marine Products 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark. This is a pretty blue one, and we run this to here with a amplified D104 lollipop over.
All right, that's a good, I don't know, that's a good microphone, that radio, the Gem Marine Products. I think this is another Panasonic chassis, Panasonic 2 chassis radio with the extra light. Meter switch, RF, fine tune. Gem Marine Products did make marine products, so you can see the little ship wheel on their G logo there. But it sounds pretty good. Take another transmission.
Transmission. I finished your word track. That's all I got. Maybe yes, this is still working quite well. And everything, so after Harvey gets through, I do have one more to go, and you know what that is, Harvey?
I do, and I've got two more to go after this. But one's mine and staying here.
Okay. All right, Dennis, I would be waiting for the other one to come up.
All right, you are radio number 8, the Gem Marine G Power Mate. And anybody listening that's got a tight receiver like you might have on a Regency Imperial or something Delta Tune, take that fine tune. Like the knob, if you're looking at the picture, like the knob, you see the fine tune and turn it to the left. I believe that you are almost 2 kc low on that Gem Marine Products, but I can hear you just fine because I'm listening extra wide bandwidth. So no problem there on AM. Thank you, Chris.
No problem, Dennis. No problem at all.
Okay, and fighting the foot switch here. I think I've got it ready to go. Hello, Harvey. You are back with something warm and glowing.
Roger. Okay, this is a Tram Titan 2. No A. It's not Canadian A. It's Tram Titan 2. And this one got sold shortly after I acquired it. And the person hopefully is listening and can hear it. Stock D104. This happens to be Cliff's microphone. Wired it for a tram. Anyway, it's got really good receive. It's got that big meter and nice transmit. Anyway, I've got one more to do, especially for Cliff, and then I'll have my sign-off radio. But anyway, Tram Titan 2. And for the 2A and the Chris 23 Plus, somebody knows how to get a hold of me, either through OTR or phone numbers or texting and all that good stuff. Okay, back to you, and I'm unhooking this, going to the next one.
Okay, Harvey, thank you. And remember, take your time. Not a race here. We got plenty of time. Yeah, answer me this one question before you go on the Tram Titan 2, maybe the Titan as well. When you keyed that down, is there just this loud thunk crack coming out of the speaker, ka-chunk, whatever?
A little bit.
All right, maybe you're used to. I'm used to sort of these newer style radios that don't just make any noise, and that one is, man, it would wake somebody. If you were in the house, it would wake somebody up. If you're doing some late night radio, it would wake them up. But then it's a good thing. They would come in and say, that's pretty cool. I like looking at the meters. All right, thanks, Harvey. Radio number 9, the Tram Titan 2. Before I unkey, I wanted to try and answer a couple of questions about the station. Mike T says the face of that, what was our prior radio? The Gem Marine G Power Mate looks close to what was the radio that you had? Gemtronics 2300, and indeed it does, because if you were to look inside your Gemtronics 2300, you would see exactly the same radio. It's a Panasonic, second generation Panasonic chassis out of Japan. So they're all basically the same radios. The Gemtronics 2300 and the G Power Mate. But each radio got to pull out some different items on the face, whether it was a mod light or an on-air light or an RF switch or a audio range boost or whatever. All that stuff was in there. But inside, it's basically the same radio. All right, the old tube radio network is standing by, and I can't remember who had a radio.
Me?
Chris, that's right. Oops. I don't know why it is so hard to do a foot switch. Chris, go ahead, over.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, over.
Well, I'm going to copy after Harvey. This is my Chris 23 Plus CB transceiver. 23 channel tuber that glows in the dark with original handheld stock microphone. Over.
The KRIS 23 Plus. You know what I'm trying? I'm trying too hard to do this with you. I just go with the force. Chris 23 Plus, we had one of those earlier. Yes, we did. Harvey on the west side. Now, this one is yours. The one that Harvey's checking in is for sale. So if someone is wanting one of these Chris radios, and of course this one from Chris, the Chris from Chris is not for sale. The vessel with the pestle has the potion with the poison. The flagon with the dragon has the brood that is true. And Chris has the 23 Plus. Go ahead.
Okay, what all that was. But yeah, no, this one's mine. I haven't put it up for sale yet, but you never know.
I'm back.
All right, you're back. Don't go away. We're checking in another Chris 23 Plus radio that's sounding good for radio number 9 tonight. And then this one is definitely more on frequency, Chris.
Yeah, the G power mate's a little bit off. You said, what, 2 kcs?
Oh, I lied. This one is as far off as the other one. It's 2 kc off. So both of your radios are on the low side. Over.
After the owner.
There you go. Well, maybe that's. Are they tilted on the bench? Are the one side higher than the other?
One side is higher than the back side. We got that little pedestal that they sit in, and it raises the front and lowers the back. It's dragging the ass and shooting to the sky.
Okay, whatever you just said. All right, thanks very much. You are radio number 9, and it's sounding good. Over.
Thank you for being there. This is it for me, so I'm going to turn this one off, and I'll finish listening to the net on the other one. Thank you very much, Dennis. And Harvey, we always think of you every day, because I see you on my phone all the time.
All right, yeah, on the phone. And somebody else had a question, and we'll go to Harvey. Was it Disaster 713? Anyway, 713 says, what channel does this take place on? We are on channel 11, 27085, for the reason that a lot of these old radios had, if they had one crystal on them, it would be channel 11, so that's what we picked ever so long ago. We are in Central California, USA, and so were there to be DX conditions, we might be wafting into somewhere. But right now, there is no DX conditions, and we are basically just hanging around locally. All right, we have Radio 10, I do believe. Hello, Harvey.
Roger. Okie dokie. This is another Tram Titan 2A. This one's not for sale because it's sold. And I'm running an unamped D104 Cliffs mic that I wired for this radio for obvious reasons. And when I got back before today, I mentioned to a couple of people what I got, and boy, they got sold kind of quick. But anyway, I still have one Titan 2A and the Chris 23 Plus. And anyway, so this is for Cliff. I hope he's there so he can hear his radio.
I think you just did an error key up.
Yeah, probably got too cold for him.
All right, well, sounds good. Go ahead and take a transmission again.
Roger, you can zero beat me. See what you come up with.
I didn't have to change a thing. It is perfectly right on frequency.
Well, somebody keyed up with you, but Cliff will like that.
Yeah, it was just you were perfectly on frequency. Didn't have to move a thing.
Me, Harvey. I just wanted to say, did you really want Dennis to zero beat you?
I've been beaten so much with a zero, it doesn't matter anymore.
Okay, I just checking.
Okay, you can zero beat me if you'd like.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, and question for Chris. The last radio you checked in on was the Jim Marine?
The last radio was the Chris 23. The Jim Marine was the second one.
Okay, you are right. I guess I was just testing you. The Chris 23 Plus. Very good. And Harvey, yeah, Harvey, you are sounding good on the other, yet another Tram Titan 2A.
Around to look.
Okay, I got one more.
Okay, well, one more is a good thing. We are getting ready to count an amount, sign off. The Jingle Singers have helped us out tonight, I guess. We're gonna ship them back. We're gonna ship them back to Old Radio Night because I think that's where they belong.
Sometimes we're funny, sometimes we suck.
How about this one?
Okay, I will see. I'm just trying to keep the radio keyed up here. I could use the Mox button, I suppose. That one sounds good. Over. Harvey, over.
Okay, I got someone on the phone also, but anyway, this is the last one, and it's not being sold. The Golden Beagle R68 T68 by Browning Laboratories, custom D104 with the medallion on the back of the head of the D104. That's it for me, and okay, anybody wants to buy anything, you know where to call. Okay, see ya.
All right, sounding good. Thanks for, I guess that will be radio number 12 tonight. A good way to end it, perhaps, the Browning Golden Beagle. Thanks, Harvey, and take a breath and answer the phone. Thanks. And working on counting and amounting, we will be back shortly on your old tube radio network. And 78, if I didn't say so, Richard, I saw you earlier from Wild Wildemar, and we got you checked in, SWL 78.
Must be counting a lot.
Yeah, I am counting a lot, actually. And I was hoping, let me get back to the studio here, I was hoping I would get the Jingle Singers to help us out tonight as I do, counting and amounting. And I'm waiting for them to show up to the microphone. Well, I'll just wait. No, okay, there they are. All right, Jingle Singers, it's up to you. Help us out here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
We really hate singing jingles.
Okay, well, with that said, and that not said, maybe I'll just go ahead and close it out here tonight, so. All right, that's nice. That's very nice. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark tonight. 21 SWLs on page 1, 17 on page 2, 20 on page 3, and 27 on page 4 for a total of 85. I think that's a record for the year. And tonight we have 12 radios checking in. The most heard manufacturer was the Tram, followed by the Browning, with a tie with the Chris 23 Plus. And I'll just read down the list here. Some of those radios are actually for sale, although the way things go, they might already be sold. You just never know. But check with us next week, won't you, on the Old Tube Radio Network. Radio number 1 tonight, the General Radio Telephone Super MC 11A, all right? And away they go. The General Radio Telephone Super MC 11A, thank you, Chris, for Radio 1. Radio number 2. The International Crystal Manufacturing CTZ 100 Executive, with the bonus of the external speaker, meter and speaker, I think was in that box as well. Then Radio 3. Nice to hear Joe in there tonight. Joe, thanks for the extra effort on jumping in and giving us some radios. The E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. We haven't heard that for a while. Got to be careful with these copyright materials here. We'll see how that one goes over. And Sean in Sanger with the big single. I'm going to go back and watch that replay. It's like, what? Did he go mobile? Is he outside the window? SWL 14 on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Isn't that great to have a spare Browning? It's like having, well, the Maserati is down. You know, let's go over and see if we can't find another vehicle. Oh, look at that. There's another one in the garage. So good to have the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB from Sanger sounding really good. Harvey on the west side with the Chris 23 Plus. I believe that one is for sale. Harvey on the west side for Radio 6 on the Tram Titan 2 Alpha. One of those was sold. Both of them are sold. I don't know, but you heard them. They're sounding good. What a great looking radio. Putting the wood and the little, I don't know what that is, Naga hide on the top. Radio number 7, Mr. Hustler on the World Radio Lab Hustler, a Old Tube radio favorite, even though it only has 7 tubes. Can you imagine? Radio number 8 tonight, Chris on the Gem Marine Products G Power Mate. Radio number 8. I'm going to get this wrong. Is my, radio number 8. Number 9 was the Tram Titan 2 from Harvey. Radio 10 was the Chris 23 Plus from Chris. That's the first time I think we've got 2 Chris 23 Pluses in the same evening. And Radio 11, the Harvey on the west side, and on the other Tram Titan 2A. It gets confusing. Titan 2, Titan 2A. Do you know the difference? The Titan AM, the Titan 2 sideband, but double sideband. You know, not single, but double sideband transmit, and then 2A single sideband transmit, and some other stuff as well. And then capping things off with the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, or should I say the Bagel. All right, I think that does it. Are the Jingle Singers? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
What's on your mind? We'd really like to hear.
What's on my mind is to say 73 to everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great rest of your weekend. And a special thanks to our veterans and families of veterans and those who served us well and are still doing so. So thanks so much. Your Old Tube Radio Network. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Enjoyed it. Definitely, always do. Have a great evening. Talk to you soon.
All right, and since I promised it, I know we're sort of over time here, but I'm going to bring up, just in case, Albert and the gang are out there listening. I'm going to go up to the satellite uplink. We are definitely in the gray line propagation, but sometimes with the satellite uplinks, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to find the one that's going to work for us. It'll beacon in the Squamish gang at 27085 and see if it comes up. And it looks like it's going to come up tonight. Let me bring the volume up. And there it is. There it is. There you have it. I'll go ahead and also put in the video. You can see it's scrolling in. We'll get rid of that. And at some point, if we're right there, you will see and or hear in the AM mode at 27085, if they're still around, still listening, the stations. See if they'll come on in from the old Tube Radio Network. And it's definitely as quiet up there in Squamish as it is down here in the Central California area.
Where is Squamish? Where is Squamish?
That is in British Columbia, just a ways north of Seattle, Washington.
Dennis, 428 base in Squamish. Checking my 456 and definitely all desk mic. Anyway, thanks for doing this, Dennis, and thanks for opening a repeater for us. Take care. I'd like to wave a hand for everybody out there. Definitely from the 428. I'll pass it back to you, sir. 73.
All right, isn't that cool? So it's as though we're on a time warp here. The delay for the uplink and the downlink, and then trying to get the audio to come through, which it did just perfectly.
Dennis, 428 base. I'd like to check in my 465 on an old desk mic. Thanks for doing this, sir. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody from the 428 in Squamish and all the Squamish boys. Take care, Dennis. 73. I'll pass it back to you, sir.
All right, 73. Let's go ahead and add 2 more check-ins. Let me turn the volume down here. Add a couple more check-ins to the old Tube Radio tonight from Squamish. Now, this isn't to say that they always need help from the uplink, because they have checked into this net before live and direct. They have checked into the Ditchbanks net.
OTR 256, Albert, Squamish, British Columbia. We'll be waving.
And there's
How about it, Dennis?
Albert.
OTR 428, British Columbia, waving.
The double play. Sounding good. Good signals, too. They have good-looking AM signals on the chart. All right, before I blow anything up here, we'll say 73 to the Squamish boys. And thanks so much for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. We will catch you next time.
OTR, Albert 256,
Wow.
Squamish, British Columbia. We're waving, buddies.
Albert's got the big signal. Albert's got the big signal tonight on the scope. Thanks, guys. Always fun when we can do that, and it's this great evening. I hope to be doing it live and direct as we get some of our north, south, east skip. 73, everybody. Your Old Tube Radio Network saying good night.
They're listening to us off the internet, right?
Yeah, they're catching us on the internet, but they're actually getting on their radios, up in Squamish, and then we're using an uplink to actually hear their radios as they're coming in on channel 11 up there.
Roger, thank you. All right, Dennis, I thank you very much. In Squamish, you guys were sounding good, so have a good evening up that way. 37, we're out, and turn this thing down, Dennis, and good night, and thank you for everything.
All right, yeah, that is a true radio check when we can do it like that.
Absolutely.
And it still sounds like we're having some atmospheric conditions that want to send some skip. I'm sure we'd be hearing it, or we'd be hearing the 10-meter beacons or something like that. Yes, the one of the, let's turn this down. It's one of the Kiwi, K-I-W-I web SDRs, but we're definitely hearing their audio as it's coming out of their radios. So much for the speed of light when you do it like that.